Whoa, here's an angle you may or may not be familiar with. So this is the backdrop, I guess, slash the movie collection. And I've wanted to make a video like this for a while, and I'm finally getting around to it because I might have to just kind of switch up how I'm going about just the collection in general, because as you can see, every single row of this shelf is full, except for just a couple of little slots. And I'll show you in a second, but there actually is kind of a method to like the madness and where things go, and of like categorization and organization and everything. So I just want to show you like what's going on with the shelf and just the collection in general. And I guess that's a good place to start. Is like, this is just kind of a cheap media shelf I got from Target. I think it was like $60. I've had it for almost 6 years at this point. So I mean, it's kind of flimsy. I did have to actually bolt it into the wall, but it is just kind of a get the job done sort of thing. It's when you're not moving it around or it's up against like a flat surface, it's fine. But yeah, I'll just sort of show you what's going on with the collection itself. Yeah, eventually I want to get it to a point where I'm separating it by genre, but that might be like when I eventually have like a house or something like that. For now, I just am sorting it by the Criterion collection is up there. We got the 4Ks here. These rows are all Blu-rays, and down there we have DVDs. And this is actually supposed to be a CD rack thing right here, like a CD shelf. But I mean, these are just holdovers. I was never a big CD collector. These are just ones I've accumulated over the years, and the rest of these are just Atari games and Genesis games, because I actually do have a couple of older consoles. If you go way back on my channel, you can see like old collection videos where I talk about that sort of thing. Yeah, so up here is the Criterion collection, and I'm actually doing the same sort of thing, just on a smaller scale in terms of the organization. Like, these two are 4Ks, all these are Blu-rays, and these are DVDs. And then we just go on to the 4Ks. And I wish I did have more 4Ks, but the thing is that they're just... there isn't as much circulating in the resale market because, you know, unfortunately physical media just isn't bought as much as it is, and its arm is sort of being twisted into early retirement. As you see, like a bunch of retailers are now like, hey, we're not going to sell physical media anymore. I don't think it's ever going to go away, but yeah, it's a bummer. Because like I said, when I worked at Best Buy, we always had these great deals, and a good amount of, at least the 4Ks, but some of the Blu-rays were bought when I was working there. Like this actually, I think like for a Black Friday sale, and this is like a special edition, whatever, has like documentaries and whatnot. I think that was only like $10. Same with this, and this has like Hard Darkness, which I always wanted to see, and like 3 different cuts of the film. Like it's six discs, excuse me. I got that for like $10 at Best Buy when they were doing that. I try to go out of my way to collect every film in a particular franchise that I'm interested in. Like for example, I really liked the last 2 Avengers movies, so I made sure to pick both of these up like right away when they came out. But I'm not like the biggest MCU fan, so I have like Iron Man 2 here on Blu-ray. But what's funny is I have Iron Man 1 on DVD, and I don't really collect DVDs anymore. And that's just kind of the thing when you're collecting physical media like this and you are working in a particular budget, is that like that just sort of happens when you're just buying stuff in bulk and you get this or that. So you might end up with, you know, the shittier of the 2 movies in better quality. But it's not really something like, I'm not going to go out of my way to get something like Iron Man on on Blu-ray, because, you know, in my mind, like subconsciously, I'm like, well, you know, I already own it, just in worse quality. But it's also good because I do actually try to pick up 4Ks when they're new, because they come with digital backups, you know. So if there's ever an instance where I want to watch a movie and it's on streaming, I can just go on Vudu or whatever, and if a 4K, or if a Blu-ray is new too, but there's a more of a likely chance that you'll get a used Blu-ray than a used 4K. So most of these I have like a digital backup of as well. But yeah, I try to make an effort to pick up like anything in a particular franchise that I like. Like I have all the Star Wars. So I have I actually have the DVDs down there. And I'm hesitant to pick up like the Blu Rays or any 4Ks of any of the first 6 because there's just so many changes, and I don't know. Like I know that there's like they are better quality, but it is just something like it almost feels like I'm supporting just shittier versions of good movies, and there is like a nostalgia factor. Like I was actually kind of late to the Netflix game, and I remember I watched that like on absolute repeat. Like there's this documentary, it's on Disney Plus, I think. It's called Empire of Dreams. I really, really recommend it. It just shows like how much of a nightmare it was to make the original trilogy. For the most part, this is just sort of alphabetized. Like I said, I do want to get to a point where it's like by genre, like, you know, superhero, horror, comedy, animation, TV. Most of this is movies, but, you know, I have stuff like the entirety of Mr. Robot. I actually just picked this up recently, Smiling Friends Season 1. I'm trying to make an effort to pick up more, like, just kind of weird Blu-rays. Like, again, almost all of this is just movies, but then you have stuff like, I found this, I think at a thrift store for like $1, Cyanide and Happiness Season 1. So, just kind of random stuff like that. I want to get like less just specifically movies and get more stuff. Like I would love to have like trailer compilation Blu-rays, and I would love to have like more internet stuff. I mean, YouTubers don't really make Blu-rays like they used to, but just kind of stuff like that, like documentaries. They Shall Not Grow Old. Great Peter Jackson documentary. The one where he colorized a bunch of World War I footage. The narration is just made up of a bunch of like old interviews from like the 30s and 40s with World War I vets. Something that a lot of collectors do that I've seen in other collection videos is that they'll actually replace all of the older media with newer media. So like they'll replace all their DVDs with Blu-rays, and then all the Blu-rays with 4Ks, and so on. And most people replace all that with just streaming. There are some where it's like, I would like to have this in better quality. So I think I had, for a while I had Titanic on DVD. And this is this full screen? No, it's widescreen. But luckily, James Cameron finally released Titanic on 4K. He did do some AI upscaling, and there are a couple shots that look kind of weird. I'll put a video in the description that does a better like case against what I'm talking about. But same thing with The Abyss. Although Titanic and The Abyss are like the two that actually look like the best, so I made sure to get those. Because what's funny is The Abyss actually never had a Blu-ray release. It only had like VHS, Laserdisc, DVD, beta, I don't know. But they finally put out a 4K, and I actually saw this in theaters. They did a re-release for like one day back in December, and when I was there, I actually ran into the guy who played one of like the Marines with like during that like rat scene. I like ran into him. He was sitting right next to us, and so I talked to him about what it was like working with James Cameron. Thinking this is just like a random theater near my house. It was awesome. Something that I think is important with a collection is making sure that the media that's there is representative of the tastes of that specific person. Because I've seen a lot of collection videos where it's just some rich dude who will get like literally any Blu-ray, and it's just rooms and rooms of Blu-rays, and it doesn't really have much of a personality. It's like, I'm not here to see like a library. I'm here to see, you know, what is representative of your taste. So I only really get stuff that I know I'm gonna watch, and there is a decent amount here I actually haven't watched, especially with the DVDs, because again, these are just so cheap. Like you can go to like a local library and they'll have some sort of book sale. It's like buy 6 movies for $1. So if you're looking to like start any sort of media collection like this, a lot of places you kind of need to get creative in terms of where you're gonna find the stuff. Like, you know, there's eBay and stuff and normal retailers, but like go to like any yard sale or book sale, flea market, and that's where just a lot of this collection has started. I have like a list of the stuff that I still want to get, but I know, like I said, I would like there to be a future where I have like an entire room of this sort of stuff. And I mean, this is the effort of probably, I mean, some of these are just ones I've had since I was a kid, but like collecting itself, this is probably about like 10 years of collecting, and this is what I have to show for it. And don't get me wrong, I'm super proud of the collection, but like I hope there to be a time where, you know, I have like walls and walls of Blu-rays, and like I'm, you know, like I said, separating them by genre and that sort of thing. Yeah, so that's the collection itself. Hopefully I can do like an update at some point and just show the progress, which is definitely what I'd like to do, because I got like 10 more Blu-rays within the last week or so, Blu-rays and 4Ks, that's been filling this thing up. So there might be a reality where in a couple months this is just completely full, and there's still like plenty that I actually want to get. So yeah, I hope you found this entertaining, and thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.